in the booth. Talking all the ball, you know we spitting the truth. Rubber and fight hard, showing love for the game. Owls in the sky, play for more than the fame. Play sharp on the field, eager to rise. Leeds chants loud, I see a devoted lives. Barnsley Bridge Warriors.
Good afternoon and welcome to Terrace Talk. I'm King Bush, your host. Tonight we have a virgin with us. We have Tom. Shelley disappeared, and we've got Bez.
Yeah. Good evening.
So, Tom, just tell us a bit about yourself and your sort of. We always ask new people that come on the show, where do you think sort of Rotherham are going to finish, and how do you sort of see us going this season?
Right. So yeah, I'm Tom Brown, from Rotherham originally. Supported the Millers all my life. My uncle is the president of the Nostalgia Society, and his daughter's actually the youngest ever registered Rotherham fan. My cousin Rachel. Regards Rotherham, I had really high hopes this season. I did, and I hope to still have high hopes this season. For at very least a playoff push, but the way things are going currently, miles off it, absolutely miles off it. So I really think you guys are doing a great job, and I can't wait to be able to contribute. Cheers, guys. Thank you, Lee.
No problem. So we're going to start, obviously, it's a deadline special, and we have just signed Tom Holmes on loan from Luton on a season-long loan. Bez, what are your thoughts of that signing? Are you happy? We need cover in that area, so I guess that's one positive. He's got a questionable injury record, so he'll fit in at Roundwood very well. So what are your thoughts, Bez, on that signing that's been announced?
Yeah, so as a centre-back, I think it's actually a good signing. So just ignore his injury record for a minute. I do think it's a good signing. When he was like 22, 23, which is like 2-3 years ago, I think he was highly rated. Obviously, I think he did play for Luton in the Championship as well, which is obviously a step above. It does seem, though, like injuries have kind of held him back, and that's the reason why he's not in the Luton, if you like, starting 11 now. Luton have obviously got as well, arguably, some friendly players still on their books, and that's why he probably can't get in on top of the injuries as well. But I'm actually quite happy with the signing. Obviously, the rumours we were after Dan Scar as well. If I could have chosen one or the other, I probably would have gone Dan Scar. Just A, he's not as injury prone. B, he's a bit more experienced. I think he's like late 20s or early 30s was Dan Scar. But overall, I'm quite happy. He's a 6'2", I think 6'2"-ish defender, so he's quite tall. He should hopefully dominate in the air, which is something that we've not really had since Agbear has kind of gone off injury. I know Raggett has kind of been doing that, but Raggett struggled, and obviously now he's injured as well. And I don't really see Jules as someone who dominates in the air. So hopefully this lad can dominate in the air for us and possibly play that centre back. So overall, I'm quite happy as long as he stays fit.
Tom, what about yourself? Do you know much about the player we've signed, Tom Holmes?
All right, Lee, I'm just having a look at his record. So he signed for Reading in 2017, made 121 appearances, scoring 1 goal. He went on loan to KSV Rosselaire and made 11 appearances between 2019 and 2020. He then went to Luton Town in 2024, made 18 appearances, scored 1 goal. And then he went back to Reading, interestingly, in 2024, made 4 appearances, no goal. And then he went to, I think it's a Belgian team, Dender EH on loan in 2025 of this year, and made 2 appearances. He's 6'1", He's 25 years old. I'll be honest. Always give players a chance, but I'm ever slightly underwhelmed with this. But
Yeah.
I hope we're proven wrong. I really do.
Shelley, are you with us? Can you hear
I'm
us?
here, mate. Apologies, laptop decided to do an update. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So obviously we've just been explaining Rotherham have just signed Tom Holmes on a season-long loan from Luton. Do you know much about this player? Are you happy with the signing?
Yeah, I don't really know a great deal about him, but I mean, if you can stay fit, then playing for like sort of like Luton and Reading can only be sort of a positive sign. I think we are fairly light at the minute of centre halves, so if you can stay fit, should be decent.
Sean H in the comments, sounds like Raggett Mark 2. See if he's injured every other week. Yeah, I mean, he's got a questionable injury record, but I guess that's where we are as a football club at the minute. I don't think we can attract someone. I've got Doncaster fan. How's it going signing Owen Bailey? I think he's trying to take fun. But obviously, if he was at Rotherham, he'd be at a much bigger club than Doncaster. So if he wants to come, I'll message Tony Stewart and I'll pay his wages. I'm happy to do that. Okay, so we can bring him. Not a problem. So we're going to talk, obviously, away from transfers a little bit, and we're going to talk about, we'll start with Barnsley because that came before the weekend. I thought personally, the first half of football against Barnsley was probably the best I've seen us play under Matt Hamshaw since he's been here. I thought the press was good. I thought we absolutely looked fantastic. But then second half, we just collapsed and we don't seem to be able to play two halves of football, and that's my concern. My also concern is that we don't seem to be able to tactically change the way the game's going at all. I don't think there's a plan B. So if the plan isn't working and we need to change it up a bit, I don't think we've either got the personnel or we've got the managerial experience that can actually change a game from the bench. I'm going to go to you, Shelley, first. What were your thoughts firstly on Barnsley?
I said it last week. Wigan was the second half. Port Vale was the first half. Barnsley again the first half. So it seems to be like 45 minutes of football. That's all we seem to be getting at the minute. We went 1-0 up, and you thought, you know what, we might actually do this, and then same old Rotherham kind of sort of sat back and they come at us, and as soon as they scored, you thought, yeah, we know what's going to happen here. But just touching on what you've just said, I don't think at the minute the personnel are there to obviously change it. Like you look at the bench on Saturday, for instance, and they weren't really. It was asking for a change of shape, and there wasn't really anybody to kind of sort of come on. And yeah, I think it just stems from little bits like, sort of Rafferty being the captain, things like that. He's not going to play sort of right back or right wing back because obviously Denzel Hall. So in order to utilise him, he's got to play centre half, which, it's not ideal.
Not ideal. Tom, your thoughts firstly on Barnsley. What were your thoughts on the actual game? And
well, I know we're on about a plan B, but I think we struggle to have a plan A, to be honest with you. I thought first half, it went in this favour. There wasn't really a pattern of play. I do think we should have been potentially 3-0 up in the first half. I think Martha played exceptionally well. And we didn't punish them when we had the chance. And then second half, this is where I think tactically Matt Hamshaw needs to learn, and he needs to learn quick, right? Whether or not he was prioritising the league game that was on Saturday, which we'll come to later on. But do you know what? I'd have loved to have a lot of the cup run. His substitutions were a disaster, and it changed the game completely. So I was very disappointed about that. But I don't know if Hamshaw's on a learning curve. I don't know. However, I think his substitutions in the second half against Barnsley was very, very questionable. And people say, it's just a cup game, whatever. No. It's a local derby, right? It's a local derby.
Yeah.
End of. I don't care if it's a friendly. I don't care if it's a kickabout for charity. It's a local derby. I want to win, right? I'm sick of this mentality of, do you know what? We changed it up because we have to play Doncaster on Saturday, which is another local derby. And how did that go? That's my thoughts. Cheers, Lee.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Tom. So for me, I was fuming that we're resting players to come off and say we're resting him for Saturday. Saturday's more important. Why is it? With the way we're going, we're not even going to do anything in the league either. So, I mean, look at the scenes with Grimsby beating Man United, Sheffield Wednesday beating Leeds. Like, those are special moments. We're playing in a derby, yeah? I'm getting dog's abuse from people that know me because we're getting smashed up every week by little clubs like Barnsley, Doncaster. What next? We're losing to Chesterfield. It's getting embarrassing. The mentality of the manager, and I believe that's why I call him a big boy. People don't like it, but I don't believe he's got the mentality of a winning mentality of a manager, like Steve Evans had. Yeah, Steve Evans last season got sacked, rightly so. But that man has got a winning mentality. Yeah, I don't think Hamshaw has. I think he's just happy to be in the job, pick up a wage, and say, I'm the manager of Rotherham United. I don't think he has got that passion and that drive to win football matches. I don't see it. Doesn't hurt enough when we're losing. I just don't see it. And a lot of people questioned me at the beginning of the season saying, and it all stems from pre-season. We didn't sign the players in time. So now we're rushing players, they're getting injured. And this is all because of the pre-season was totally a mess because we got players in too late. And people, it's only friendlies, it doesn't matter. It does matter. Pre-season is probably more important than the season because that's where the season starts, in pre-season. It's where you get your players fit, whereas you get your style of play. We're trying to adopt a style of play now in the season where we've already lost points. We're on 4 points after 5 games and out of the cup already. It's not good enough. And we've got Muppets online saying, this performance was better than the last performance. The last performance was better than that. So we're gradually getting better. We're not getting better. We're getting worse. The teams we're playing are worse because the team before, Cardiff, are much better than Doncaster. Yeah, Doncaster were awful. Yeah, they're not even a good side. And we're getting bantered by a caravan club that are they should be in the non-league. They're not good enough to be on our level. On to Bez. Bez, what were your thoughts? Start with Barnsley.
Yeah, you've kind of gone off on one there, haven't you, Lee? All different directions. Yeah, just I'll bring you back to Barnsley first. So I think we're all in agreement that the first half was a decent performance, the first 45 minutes. My only concern is, and I don't want to take anything away from the first half performance, but my concern is were Barnsley really up for that game in the first half? Did they just go into it thinking, it's only a cup game, we're not that bothered, and that's why Rotherham dominated the game? Because let's face it, apart from a 20-minute spell here or a 30-minute spell there, that's the only half of football that Rotherham have actually dominated this season, friendlies included. So it does concern me that Barnsley might not have been up for the game in the first half. And as soon as they've got into half time, Hooligans got motivated, and that's why they've come out. And look, second half, it could have been 4, 5, 6 at one point. They were bombarding our goal with shot after shot after shot about 60 to 80 minutes in. So, yeah, that is concerning. I do agree with you with regards to your, the transfer policy and the tactics. So, first of all, tactics. You said that you think we're trying to learn our tactic now. I think we're trying to learn the tactic now because I think he's changed it. I think in pre-season he had a set way of playing, which was more possession-based, patient style, passing out from the goalkeeper. And because they got hammered against Sheffield United in Accrington, he's changed it already. And that's why we're trying like a different style, because I don't even know what our style is. Like, I don't see us passing the ball along back four or into midfield. I don't really see us knocking it long up to the strikers. I don't see us knocking it down the line into the channels for like strikers or attacking midfielders to like run onto. I don't actually know what we're trying to do. And that's what's concerning me. I don't think he knows tactically. Apart from the formation, he's obviously dead set on the formation. And I've had debates all weekend about this. I guarantee he won't change his formation, and he can't do, because if he goes to a four at the back, you have to play wingers, and apart from Martin, we've got no other wingers at the club. And now that deadline date's gone, he literally put all his baskets into the free back. It has to be a free, obviously two wing backs and then in midfield and two strikers. So yeah, very concerning times at the minute, unfortunately.
Just quickly, a couple of comments coming in. So David Cowell, I can see why we are favourites to go down. John, did you notice how our heads dropped so easily when we went 1-0 down?
I agree with that. Sorry, that one from John, that's actually a good point. I think because the confidence is so low, when they do concede, their heads are dropping. So, and look, that is up to Hamshaw. He needs to get them going. He needs to get the confidence instilled back into him.
I'm going to bring you in, Shelley. What are your thoughts with the tactics? Do you think, especially for the Barnsley game, were you happy that we did that second half? Did you see the reason behind it? Are we just being overcritical?
Like we said, there's only really Martha at the minute who is sort of an out-and-out wide player. There's nobody to fill the void. If we do change it, what does it go to? Sort of 4-3-3, sort of narrow. You're probably going to play somebody out of position. Yeah, he's playing that way at the minute because of the bodies we've got. Now, once people are back, maybe it might be a different story. What I will say is, have you seen the list of the PFA players who are out of contract? Like, there's a lot of players on there who would still do a job, and I'm quite surprised haven't got a club, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, for me, we've got a big problem. So we've got a squad now where we need to get rid of some that are clearly not good enough. I mean, why on earth we get a contract to Joshua Quody? He's made a bloody plasticine. Why we've given him a contract? McGuckin, I feel sorry for the lad, yeah, because they begged him to sign a new contract, yeah. I don't believe he's good enough. However, if you give him a new contract and beg him to stay, it's your job as a manager then to get the best out of him. They haven't. They've used him and now they've told him he can go. So he's lost his move to, I think it was Yeovil that wanted to sign him before Hamshaw was begging him all summer. And this has come from someone very close at the club. So I'm not talking nonsense. I'm talking actual facts. They begged him to stay all summer. Yeah. He was very close to leaving, signed for us, and he's been given very little chance and now told he can find another club.
So Lee,
he should have had 20 minutes on Saturday.
Sorry,
why? Go on.
Yeah. So why do you think, right? So why have the club, whether it's Hamshaw, whether it's Scott, whoever, why in 1 month, so May/June, have they said, we want Kieran McGuckin, we want him to stay for whatever reason, right? And only 6 weeks later, they're wanting to get rid of him. Like, what's happened in between then?
But they obviously don't want to play him. He hasn't been playing him. He's not even been on getting it. Even in the cup game, he's not been getting much minutes. So they've obviously thought we're not that keen on him, but he's holding a squad place. So along with what's the other guy? Holmes. He's another player. Like, we've given him a contract. We don't play wingers. And he's not playing. So you need players for certain positions. We can't sign them because we're at the maximum. So he's had to go cap in hand now to Tony Stewart and ask for more money to get this centre-back in. But Tony Stewart then saying you need to get players out. That's why it's took us so long. We've been struggling to get the players out that he doesn't want here. And obviously the chairman's actually backed him and got the player in. But that's poor planning for me.
So where do you stand with Stewart then? So we obviously, it's well known that, and I'm included in this, like, we've had a go at Tony Stewart over the last 12, 18 months. And to be fair to him, he looks to me like he's given Matt Hamshaw what he wants and more so. So are you a bit more on the Stewart's not an issue at the minute, or like where do you stand currently?
This is the problem. So for me, he hasn't backed him. I don't believe he's backed him. He's signed players that he's hoping to get a profit. We've lowered the wage bill by a considerable amount. The previous 2 to 3 years, we've sold all our assets. So there's nothing left to sell other than Nombe, and he's injured. Yeah. So he hasn't been able to sell anybody. If there was anyone decent enough, we would have sold him. If Nombe wouldn't have got injured, he'd have been probably sold. So I don't think he's backed him. He's signed player. You've got to have a squad. You can't not sign anybody. They've only come for low fees. They're all young. So if they do well, we can sell them for a profit. I don't think he's fully backed him. But at the same time, as a manager, Hamshaw's come in knowing what the budget is. He's agreed to it. Knowing what the chairman's asked him to do, he's agreed to it. So the book stops with the manager. If you agree to a budget, you can't then go to your boss and say, I don't agree with that budget now. I need more players. You can't do that. A strong manager would get a decent, but I wouldn't be coming into Rotherham United as a strong manager and having a lesser budget than what Steve Evans had. I wouldn't do it because they struggled with Steve Evans' budget. Yeah. So everyone says Steve Evans got a load of money. Mate, he had to sell the best keeper we've ever had. We had to sell the best midfielder we got 2 days before the season started, and none of them was replaced. Or we were replaced with freebies. So that was a rebuild under Evans. And everybody's talking about a rebuild. It's a rebuild every fucking season because we do not plan for the season ahead. We've already got Powell due to be out of contract again. Will we sort his contract out? Will we yet? It just doesn't happen. We don't think farther than the next season ahead. And Evans was to blame because he was poor. But who signed it off? Tony Stewart signed these old players off. Rob Scott signed them off because they're all doing it. They're all involved in it. So while ever this club is run by dinosaurs on and off the pitch, it doesn't matter who you have as manager. I think Hamshaw's out of his depth. But if you sack Hamshaw, you get somebody else. And he's going to struggle. Because behind the scenes, we're run like a shambles. For God's sake, lads, it's our centenary year. What's the club really done for the fans? Other than to try and make money for the club. So it is what it is. I'm going on a tangent. So we're going to bring it back to sort of football. I'm going to go with you because obviously you was at the game. Travelled across to Doncaster. Thoughts on the game, first of all?
You said me, sorry, yeah.
Doncaster game, yeah.
Who are you asking the question to, sorry?
Shelley.
Right.
I'll be honest, it's the only time that I've gone there beforehand and not confident we were going to win. I don't know if it's just with the away form at the minute. I think somebody said the other day we've won sites 7 times in like 3 years away from home. Yeah. I mean, they came out within sort of like first 10 minutes and you thought, all right, you know, here we go, we're going to have a go at them. And then it just petered out. And then as soon as they scored, they just did what they had to do. I said, you know, and then obviously they hit post a few times, but it was just same old really. And I don't know why we're so bad away from home. I really don't. There were just no attempts to sort of change it. I mean, no disrespect to McGuckin, but it came on with 4 minutes to go. Etete were puffing after like 70 minutes, so he should have at least had 20 minutes. Maybe give Jack Holmes a run. It's just, I don't understand it. I really don't.
Tom, what about yourself? What did you think of the game and how we applied ourselves?
I think it goes back to the mentality we've got at the minute. If we ain't winning, we're losing. I know that sounds mad. I think if we go 1-0 down in a game, our fans, right, start chanting stuff about us losing, or even if we go 1-0 up, how shit must you be? We're winning away or whatever, right? There's a mentality around the club where it is, and I can't stand it. I remember the Ronnie Moore days. Do you know what I mean? The Ronnie Moore days where we actually, even if we were 1-0 down, we were loud and proud and we're like, come on, let's have it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm watching that game and we can't cross the ball, incredibly. I don't know what we do on the training pitch. And as soon as it was 1-0, obviously I watched it back later on, but I was listening to you guys and you did a great job. I just knew, deep down, you just know we ain't pulling that back. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And I don't know, it's just a dark place at the minute. Dark place. And it needs sorting. And once again, a local derby. Second in a week. You thought, all right, we lost to Barnsley in the Carabao Cup. Let's get up for it. Let's go Doncaster, right? Let's beat them. Let's make a statement. Let's go out. Attack, attack, attack. But nah. Nope. Didn't happen,
And
did it?
I'm sure Tom promised us the very least a Rotherham style of up and at 'em, aggressive. We haven't got that, have we?
No, we haven't.
Am I just being overcritical? I mean, we just haven't got it, have we?
Well, I think we're playing I mentioned this in the group chat. I think, was it yesterday? I think we're playing the complete wrong formation. Look, I ain't got coaching badges. Well, I have, but like crap ones. And you know what? I'm not qualified to say this, but I think from the majority of fans and some of, the cult, as you would say, Lee, will not admit this formation is not working on any level, right? I think you can't have Reece James and what's he called? Rafferty, right? Rafferty playing as centre halves in a back three. No chance. What's the saying? Is it square pegs in round holes or whatever? That is not their position. They are fullbacks, right? And the cross for their goal, was it Rafferty again, was it? Didn't follow his man, got out jumped. Dawson, I think, should have come out and collected the ball.
Yeah.
Should have come out and collected the ball. Command your box. Johansson would have commanded his box. Most of our decent goalkeepers, Mike Pollitt, Rodak, Iverson, would have commanded their box. There was no commanding of the box. It's soft. Absolutely soft. Right? And I tell you what, it needs to change ASAP. That's my thoughts on the game, Lee.
I agree with you. Sean H., our set pieces from Powell are so bad. Surely someone else can put a free kick or corner in. Yeah, we just seem to persist with that as well sometimes. I mean, we had it last season under Evans where he used to persist in giving Powell every free kick and every corner. Obviously, Dan Gore was missing. I think he was a big loss for us. I think Dan Gore's a quality player. Also, we need to play 4-4-2, play Martha and Coletta, Holmes on the wing. I don't know why Coletta's not starting games. He looks brilliant when he's been playing. I don't know whether he's not fully fit or what it is there. But for me, he is one of the first names on the team sheet for me.
I wouldn't go as far as saying brilliant. I think he's done okay.
Yeah, you're not convinced, Bez.
Well, I think, like, when he came on against Doncaster, I don't know if he came on at half-time or straight after half-time, but when he came on, he was excellent for like 10, 15 minutes, and everything was coming down his side. He was playing on like the left wing or left wing back, and everything was coming down his side, and he was excellent. But then after like that 15 minutes fell, I can't remember touching it more after that, to be honest. So, but look, he's only a 19 or 20-year-old lad. So what I would say is he's shown signs that he's got ability, and hopefully he'll only get better. It's whether you trust someone like Hamshaw, though, to guide him in the right way. That'd be my concern. Although Hamshaw has got, even though he might not be a good manager, he has got experience of managing, the youngsters, hasn't he? Because he used to manage Rotherham under 21s or whatever it might be. So possibly he might get the rest out of these youngsters. You never know.
There was a lot of negativity from you today, Alan Sugar. Where's the positive has gone?
These are all bringing me down, Poppy. All of them.
Coletta missing pre-season fitness apparently from John. Yeah, I did hear a rumor.
Just on the, on the set pieces, and I'm going to be controversial here actually. So obviously Joe Powell, he takes 10 corners, and 7 of them will hit the front man, or they'll go like out the other side, out at the other end of the box, right? So I've got this theory where if you're trying to take the perfect corner, which I think he is, you've got to accept that if you try to take a perfect corner, you're going to get it wrong 80% of the time. However, you will get it right, though, once or twice or 3 times a game. And if we can get someone attacking those corners, then we will score from them. Because the thing is, what I don't want to happen is someone else at the corner and it starts feeling like a floaty corner where you can't attack it, or, the corner is just, driven into like the edge of the box or whatever. So I actually don't mind it when Powell, as long as he still gives you 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4, I'm actually happy for Powell to continue to take him, to be honest with you.
My issue, Bez, is we concede more from set pieces than we score from set pieces.
Agreed.
Apparently, there was a big focus this summer on set pieces, and we're failing. That we concede. We look like we're going to concede every time we get a corner, and we never look like we're going to score from a corner. That's the way it feels. And if you look at the stats, that's the way it's going stat-wise.
We've had the bodies previously, though, haven't we?
Go on, sorry, Shelley.
I said we've had the bodies previously. There's been like like Woody, people like that who can actually score from a corner. So if you are floating them in, we've had the people there previously to get on the end of it. At the minute, there's nobody to get on the end of the corners.
Tom said it to fair. When you've got a back 3 and you've got one centre back who's like 6'2" in Raggett, right, and you've got one centre back who is 5'8" in Rafferty and 5'7" in James, you're not going to score corners and you're not going to defend him because you've only got one tall player on the pitch. Now, this is why I said about Hugo a couple of shows ago. Hugo's quite important defensively because he's actually quite good in our own box, and he's also a tallish guy to win headers. I found Coletta. I do find that Atete, although he's 6'5", he doesn't seem very good in the air to me. I don't know what you think, but he just doesn't seem very good in the air. He seems a lot better on the feet, in his feet to me.
Yeah, I think he seems to be better with the ball into his feet, and he kind of rolls defenders. That's where I've picked up his strong points. I don't think you're right. I don't think he actually wins many aerial headers, and I don't think Sharif does either. I hadn't really seen him win many headers.
I think Sharif will go back in January, I bet.
I think anybody who can kick a football can put a ball into a box. It's our main chance of scoring. I'll let you respond.
If you go right, if you start watching Sheffield United, for example, I guarantee that they have the same issue where every time they get a corner, it hits the front post, right? And the reason I know this is because I do watch that. I've not watched a lot of him, but I have watched that pie face, and he goes to Plymouth, and he complains about it for Plymouth. He says that every time they get a corner, it hits the front post. So I do think it's a general issue. It's not just Rotherham. I think a lot of clubs suffer from the same problem.
Right, guys, I'm going to put you all on the spot here, and I haven't pre-warned you of this question, but I am going to put this out to each and one of you. So I'm going to obviously start with Shelley. Is Matt Hamshaw out of his depth?
For now, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt with 5 games in. Right,
yeah.
There are people injured at the minute. Okay, so there's a few midfielders. Non-Bay's injured, who gives us something different. So as it stands at the minute, I don't want to obviously have to sit on the fence, but there are people to come back. What's to say that Spence or Benson aren't a bit like a Jamie Lindsay type player? We're just missing that biting midfield at the minute. There's nobody who will physically get the foot on the ball, do something.
I think Spencer is that player, if I'm honest. But like you said, we haven't seen him, and I think I'm with you a little bit, Shelley. I think we do have to give him some time. I know it's difficult where we are, but we have got to see more from him, for me. So, Tom, do you think Hamshaw is out of his depth?
God, right. I think on looking at performances, taking away the first 3 games of his tenure, where he won all 3 as a caretaker, I'm looking at substitutions, I'm looking at tactics, I'm looking at lineups, I am looking at injuries. I want to sit on the fence, but I won't sit on the fence. And I so hope I'm proved wrong. But yes, he's out of his depth. And I hope I'm proved wrong.
Yeah. Bez?
Well, you've asked like a tough question. You've not asked, do you think he deserves his sack, which I find interesting. I didn't want Hamshaw in the first place. I don't like it when we appoint these, if you like, unexperienced managers. Now, don't get me wrong. Did it work with Paul Vaughan? Yeah, it did. It also failed at the same time because we did get relegated 3 times under Paul Vaughan, but it did still work in League One. And this season and last season has kind of taught me that Paul Vaughan did do a good job in League One, because we're finding it hard now, and even Steve Evans found it hard. But yeah, I didn't want Hamshaw in the first place. I'd still want to support him, and unfortunately, I do agree with Shelley. I don't think you can sack any manager after 5 games. I know the ex-Man U manager.
I'm not asking him to be sacked. I'm just saying, do you believe he's out of his depth?
Yeah, so I think he's out of his depth. I thought that before he even got the job. But yeah, he needs to be given a chance, unfortunately. So it's going to be a hard watch for next month, but he does need to be given a chance.
What I will say is, I think he's got until, I think if he doesn't improve things, and what I'll keep reiterating this, right? I bloody well hope he does. By October, I think at the not this international break, but the next international break, not that we're bothered by that because we're in League One. Depending on performances, I think the board, if he's done well, happy days. If he hasn't, they'll pull the trigger. They will pull the trigger. Guaranteed. Sacktober, they call it.
Yeah. Sean H, got a look at Donny. It took their manager Grant McCann a couple of seasons to get his own style and players in. Bit different. It's a bit different. You're in League Two.
I know, but their League Two is our League One, isn't it? So, when we're in League One, we should be near top.
But if after 3 years my football team played like Donny did at the weekend, I'd still be unhappy. Because that were crap. They were crap. We were crap. It were 2 crap.
They weren't great. Yeah, they weren't great.
So yeah. I'm not going to compare us to little clubs like Doncaster. I'm sorry, I've got higher standards than Doncaster. Do you know what I mean? We should be setting the bar a lot higher than Doncaster.
Do you know the worrying thing at the minute is the amount of injuries that we're having? Obviously, under Paul Warne, there were nowhere near as many injuries. At the minute we are getting a lot now. Is it something that we need to be looking at? Why are we just signing players that are injury prone, or is there a bigger issue here?
For me, I blame this on the manager as well. So we signed Yearwood, he failed the medical. Okay, we've signed it. He hasn't been injured, but he failed the medical. Yeah, so that's one thing. He's signed Joshua Coyote. He's given him a new contract. That's on the manager. Yeah, we could have asked 1,000 people, and 1,000 people would have told you that guy cannot stay fit. Okay, never going to happen. We signed Benson from Barnsley, injury prone. Barnsley fans said, brilliant player, but you won't get 12 games out of him. Injured first week of the season. So we know what we're signing, but we're just doing it anyway. And that just, to me, condemns why I believe he's out of his depth. Because if you're risking your season with injury, you can do it with 1 or 2 players, maybe 1. We're doing it with 4 and 5 players that are injury prone. We're signing them, and we know that they're not going to be fit. And some we know they're not good enough. So for me, he's give contracts to Holmes. I could have told you he's not good enough. I wouldn't even say he's good enough for League 2. That's being brutally honest. He's not good enough. Same as McGuckin. He'd struggle in League 2. Some of them would probably struggle at Parkgate, who we've got on his books at the minute. So for me, I believe he's out of his depth. Tactically, his actual way he manages players. And I know for a fact I've spoken to some of the players that left last season, and they weren't keen on Matt Hamshaw. So all this thing that everybody likes him, they don't. And I tell you another thing. He's left Derby. There's a few good Derby players that are not getting time at Derby. Why don't they come here? They went to MK Dons in the lower league. They didn't sign for Hamshaw. Why? He's not the great person that we're meant to believe that he is, unfortunately. And that comes from people at the football club. It don't come from me. It comes from people at the football club. So for me, he's out of his depth. I'm very much like Tom. I love my football club. I want us to be successful. I want to be proven wrong. I've seen certain aspects that can give me hope, i.e. the first half against Barnsley. But if we're last season, we had much better than first half against Barnsley when we destroyed Charlton under Steve Evans. We smashed them at New York Stadium. Charlton went up to get promoted. Way much better side than what we played against Barnsley. But we still went on to have a poor season. So every club can have a decent 1 or 2 games. The season is over the season. We have not built a squad good enough to cope with the season because we've seen already we've got too many injuries. Now, is the training ground partly to do with that? Is the recruitment partly to do with that? Absolutely, it is. Because we had injuries. We had injuries under Evans. We then said we get injuries all the time, but it's not changed, has it? Whoever's the manager, we're still getting injuries. And I said pre-season, we're signing younger players, but again, we're signing injury. It reminded me of when we signed that the 2 centre-backs, Sean Morrison and who was the other one, Hall, that were always injured. And we signed them together knowing they were injured, but they were old. And they didn't play many games. We've done that again this season with the midfield lad, Benson and Joshua Coyote. I knew they weren't going to play. So you may as well wipe 2 squad places off your squad. We just keep doing the same things, and that's where I don't believe the manager's the right one.
To be fair to Hamshaw, though, Nombe is injured and he's never known injured. Agder was a young signing. He went injury prone and he's injured. He has still got players who are injury prone or injured.
He has got a lot of injuries, and like you said, hopefully these players are going to come back. But you can't keep making the same excuse game after game. I've got this player out, I've got that player out, and every club has injuries. Every club. On to the comments. It's one big factor at the club being Big Tony's budget. Perhaps in 2012 it was half decent. Perhaps we need now outside investments to compete, which that is a good point from John Fellows, to be fair. I do actually believe. So he's given the same budget to what Paul Warne had when we got promoted, but we're years and years on that, like, footballers want more money. We're in a cost of living crisis. You can't expect that just because Paul Warne got us promoted 5 years ago, whenever it was, that same budget is now going to get us promoted again. He should have at least, at the bare minimum, give him the same budget that we had last season. But it was the bare minimum, even upped it to say, look, we want to get back. If you're an ambitious chairman, that's what you do. But I believe Tony Stewart's checked out. What about you? I'll go with Bez. What do you think with Tony Stewart? Do you think he's invested right? I know you've just said he's backed him a bit. I
look, I was like you, 12 months ago. I still can't get over the fact that Rotherham 2 years ago were a championship team, and they had the opportunity then to become a stable championship team. Look at someone like Preston, Millwall. These are all similar sized clubs to Rotherham. So if they can stabilise in the championship, why can't we? So I've still not got over that, really. There was one transfer window which I thought was a great transfer window, and that was that January when we brought in Hugo. I think they brought in Morrison and Hall, the same one. And guess what? We had a good transfer window. We stocked up comfortably. If we'd have continued with that window and continued to next season, we wouldn't be in this position. Now, I do think that he's invested more into the club this season than I accepted. I was like you. I thought, his head's kind of out of the game. He's not interested. He probably wants to get rid of it or leave it up to his son or whatever he's going to do. But he's actually done better than I had expected this season. Some of these signings, and they are risky signings, I'm not saying they're not, but I think we'll get 7-figure sum for at least one of these signings, whether it's Marta, whether it's Coletta, whether it's one of the other young lads. I do. I think we will get a big fee for at least one of them. Not saying that we will for all of them, but we'll for one of them. So I actually think, to me, this season, Stewart's not been an issue because to me, it looks like he's given Hamshaw what he wanted. Yes, agree. The overall budget has been lowered. I accept that. But like you even said, Lee, he's been given a budget and he's had to go back to Stewart to ask for more, and Stewart has said yes. So that budget that he's been given has actually gone up since. That is a fact because they've brought in Tom Owen. So, I'm actually not concerned with Stewart this season. I'm more concerned with Hamshaw.
Tom, what about you? What do you think?
Well, to quote Robert Carlyle in The Full Monty, you have to speculate to accumulate in business-like. Eh? As we were saying before, I think we missed out on a massive opportunity when we were in the Championship to solidify our status in that league, but we tried to do it on the absolute cheap. Signing Sean Morrison, old players injured. We tried to do it on the cheap. It was as if it's a success if we stay up for one season. No, that's not how you build a team. Do you know what I mean? You've got to look into the future. You've got to think, in 5 years' time, if we finish 17th and then 15th and then 12th and then maybe 8th, at that point we can go for it, right? But we didn't. We did not. I think this season, to be fair, I will say I'm quite surprised that Tony Stewart did get the checkbook out for, the players that we have signed, because I was expecting it all be freeze like last season.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just underwhelming, isn't it? I agree. I think, a couple of these Dutch lads might go on to do great things, but it's just like there's now worse than being a feeder club, is there? I know that we are a feeder club, and we probably always will be unless we get took over by some sheikhs or some Arabs or whatever. But I mean, nah, I don't know. I don't know. I tend to agree. Hamshaw was never my first option, obviously. I think we needed a seasoned Championship/League One manager to come in, organise, get us up the ranks, even solidify us to the point of, we might finish 10th or 11th. But I don't know. I completely think we will avoid relegation. I want to say that right now, but it's going to be tough watching. Tough watching. It's going to be a tough watch. It'll be exciting, to say the least. But nah, I don't know.
Sean H is, who's going to pay a 7-figure fee for a player if the club is doing crap on the pitch? What scouts are watching us?
I remember when we sold Will Hoskins for like 7 figures, didn't we? And we were bottom of the league, so I'm pretty sure they still watch you.
Shelley, what's your thoughts on the ownership, Shelley?
I mean, as it stands at the minute, I'm going to sort of play devil's advocate. We have got a football club and we have been stable. So, as it stands at the minute, that's something we can sort of take from this. But I think it stems from the last couple of seasons. I mean, you look at the players that we had. So there was obviously Ogbenny, there was Barlasser, there was Victor, and probably throw Ben Wiles into the mix. Now, you think about how much money we should have made there compared to obviously how much money we made. Speaks volumes. There was then the time where we were without a manager for a set amount of time, which obviously set us back. So I think little things have obviously had knock-on effects. And I think as well, when Matt Taylor come in, I think he threw a lot of money at it and was probably sceptical, with the likes of maybe Evans this time round and probably Hamshaw to start with, because he's obviously throwing money at it and he's maybe thinking it's not money I've got.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I agree with you, Shelley, as well. I was thinking the same. And I won't just even say that season when we had Ogbenny. I remember the season where we had Semi Ajayi, Ike, Michael Smith and Ike both left for nothing. Like, as a club, we have missed such an opportunity to get real decent money for players. Even Victor, we never got what he was worth.
Ollie Rathbone's another one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's somebody that we've missed, sort of massively. I mean, even it took a lot of stick last year, but for me, Malik Wilts last season, there were times where he were unplayable. He turned the game on his head. But for him to choose the second division in Turkey, whether or not there's something more to that, I don't know if Hamshaw couldn't manage him as a person. I don't know, but it's they made
he's not an Hamshaw type of player. We wouldn't have made an offer for him, I don't think.
I disagree, because I don't think they're overly well played in Turkish League 2. They're not that well played. I believe it's Matt Hamshaw. I think he struggles to deal with personalities, older players. That's why we're only signing younger players. He did the same with Johnson Clark-Harris. He couldn't get him out the door quick enough. Yeah, he didn't play well for us. He got injured. But actually, every striker that we seem to get don't play well for us because we don't have any service to them. It's like the graveyard shift. We don't provide the strikers any service. So like I said, everybody slated Johnson Clark-Harris. That's absolutely fine. You go and put Jordan Hugill there. Everybody slates him because he's not doing well. Now we've put a Tete there. He's had half a good game. Then he don't play well. Everybody's on his back. Everybody said Sheriff played poorly at the weekend. What service are these players getting now? Like I think Tom said at the beginning of the show, we don't put crosses into the box. We just refuse to do it. And soon as other teams do it, they put a cross in. Hey, bingo, the ball's in our net. because we can't defend them either. So like Tom said, what are we doing in training?
But look at the times when we have put a ball in the box. Like, for instance, when Sheriff scored, we put a ball in the box. Sheriff got it from St. Man. You know, there was the pass from Joe Rafferty at home. So when the ball goes in the box, we have showed that we can score.
We
but
just
it
don't
just
do
doesn't
it
happen
enough.
No,
We just don't do it enough.
I remember
Rotherham won't have offered Wilkes the contract, like you said, because I'm sure they'll have let the option was there, and I think they've decided not to offer a contract, which is why they're up in Turkey. That's what I think. Anyway.
Just we're going to run through the player ratings now quickly. We took a bit more time than what we did on these, but I think we needed to get it off his chest. I think we're all been a bit frustrated at the weekend. We all come on tonight, all kind of sulking a little bit. I think the passion from you guys shows through. We just love us football club. We're not here to slag everybody off. We're criticising the team, but we want to be proven wrong. We want this club to be successful, as everybody does, but at the minute it's hard. It's a hard watch. So talking to hard watchers, I'm going to go with the first player ratings and Dawson for the weekend. So the fans rated him a 4 out of 10. Are we all in agreement with 4 out of 10, or do people think that's a bit harsh? Did he have a chance with the goal, or should he have come out?
Should have come out, 100%. Command your box, but it didn't.
We're all happy with the 4 rating. You think that's about right from the fans?
Yeah, I mean, you can say he could come out of his box, but I think Joe Powell's tried a spectacular, and then he's crossed it in. He's got freedom of keep mode, and then their kids jump. So, you know, it's although Dawson can come, it should have never got to that position. But we have been blessed with goalkeepers for the last few years, haven't we? So.
Yeah, that I think we're blinded by that as well sometimes. John Sullivan at 4. Chris Nichols, patience. You want some patience? John Fellows, Reece James was a solid 2.1 against Donny. We'll come on to Reece James next.
The thing is Ted Can any better? That's the problem. We haven't seen this Can. Is he any better than Cam Dawson? You know,
we're going
to play him.
Yeah, Hamshaw signed him. So really, if I'm the manager, I'm joining a football club. If they've already got a number 1 keeper, but they've had a poor season and the keeper's had a poor season, my first job is I sign a keeper that is better than the one I've got, or at the very least on a similar stature. We've signed an understudy. Purely we've signed an understudy because he won't even play him in the bloody virtual trophy, let alone the bloody league. I guarantee you he's not going to get a game this season.
Do you think he'll start tomorrow?
It must be really bad if he's worse than Dawson.
I think he'll start tomorrow, yeah.
You think? Hopefully.
He'll have to. He'll have to.
We'll lynch
otherwise
him.
I hope he has a blinder.
So John Fellows scored Reece James 2.1. The fans actually give him a standard 4. Think that's about fair, or do you think John Fellows more on the money with 2.1? He wasn't
He's out of position for starters. He's obviously not a centre back. So
that's what I said. I think it's harsh on him because.
I mean, I've said it before. Like, he's actually not too bad going forward. So because he's not too bad going forward, he probably would do a decent job at left wing back. But he can't play there at the minute because we've not got anyone else.
Can is starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Put Reece James on the left. He'll create more, and he likes to go on forward. He's not a left centre off.
No, and I think it's unfair to put him in positions where he's going to be challenged aerially because he's not the tallest of blokes either.
No, he's like 5'8".
Yeah. So I think that's the manager exposing him more than anybody else.
He's a consistent player in the right position. He'll be a consistent player for us in the right position.
Agreed.
Yeah, super. Rafferty, he scored a little bit higher. The fans scored him a 5. Do we agree with that for us, captain?
I mean,
Once again, in the wrong position. Wrong position again.
Well, the problem with Rafferty is not a right wing back. He can play right back, and that's it. So if he's not playing right back, then he has to be classed as a centre half. And if you've said to Hamshaw now, if you asked him, where do you see Joe Rafferty, what position do you see him at, he would say centre half. That's what he'd say. So no, I don't agree with that. I hate it when we play. You know, we've had this debate already today. But I hate it when we plays out of position. But Joe Rafferty's our captain, so he's going to have to play most games, and he's going to play most games at that right side centre half.
He's got to get him in the squad, hasn't he? That's
Yeah. There's no
you've got to
be captain-wise.
But again, I'm taking over a job of a football club. The first player I want to sign is my captain. I don't want somebody else's player as my captain.
Yeah.
I'll be signing somebody who's going to be in as captain.
He just seems to make quite big mistakes, doesn't he? His lack of experience is definitely showing, because these decisions, I think you're right, Lee, you know, everyone knows that when you come into a new side, you always start with your goalkeeper. Is this goalkeeper good enough? Yes or no? If he's not, you go and get someone. I remember Roy Keane at Sunderland, when he won promotion, he went and spent like 10 million quid on a goalkeeper, which at that time was really expensive. And guess what? Sunderland stopped off in Premier League. So, Do
you know, tomorrow is a prime game to, for instance, go to a back four, put Rafferty at right back, put Denzel Hall in front of him. Do you know what I mean? He's got a little bit of pace. He might get forward. What at this point, what have we got to lose?
No, the reason why I won't do that is because just imagine, right? He goes to back four tomorrow and they win 2-0. He's then in trouble, because then he'll be expected to play a back four on Saturday. He don't want to. So I think if he did that and they won, I do think he'd put pressure on him. If he went back to if we won and they went back to a 3 at the back on Saturday and we drew or lost, then it would look terrible on the manager. So I can't see him ever playing a 4-back ever, personally.
So next one is Zach Jules. He also, obviously these scores are not going to be high. So Zach Jules was a 4 as well. We're happy with that. He didn't do much wrong. Didn't do much. Next one we've got is Joe Powell. He also got a 4. I thought he was poorer than usual at the weekend.
Yeah, we agree with you to it. I thought he really struggled actually, Powell. Normally you do see flashes of him, he'll beat a man or he'll mega man or whatever. And I agree with you, Lee. He seemed poorer than normal for some reason. Maybe Davis keeping him up.
Yeah, well, I was told that he only trained once last week.
All right. Is that an excuse then? I mean, why?
That's the case. If he's not fully right, why are you playing him? Put him on the bench and start somebody else. You know what I mean?
Just had a kid, hasn't he? But as Roy Keane would say, well, his wife had the kid, not him. So
but maybe if Dan Gore played, maybe he might have sat out. Obviously, with Dan Gore being out. We were a bit light in midfield, weren't we? So maybe.
Dan Gore's missus just had a kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Shelley Kelly could have played.
In Rotherham. Love is in the air.
But then obviously Kelly, you go more defensive, don't you? Do you know what I mean? We would have started, a little bit more defensive with Kelly. He could have played, but
you say that. I mean, I have to say, and I can't want to say this. The one player we missed on Saturday was Kelly, because Kelly's the one who tends to drive the team forward to press their back line, and we didn't do that. I actually think we missed Kelly this Saturday. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I do.
Yeah, Miss Kelly. Okay. Yeah.
Next player then, Lee.
I think Lee's frozen.
Was he frozen?
You're there. You're still there. Martha, he got a 5, slightly higher than the others.
I think Marta was one of our better players. So, we've always agreed that a 6 is an average. So I think a 5 is really harsh, personally. He was the only one who seemed to have a shot as well. He had a couple of shots, didn't he, Martha?
He's out the weekend and all that.
Is it? Why?
Yeah,
International.
Yeah, international. Sorry.
Well, no, international's not this weekend. It's the weekend after.
Yeah, it's next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not this
No,
weekend. International. It's next weekend.
Are you sure? I think it
Well,
is.
we've not got a game. I thought our game had been postponed to internationals. I'm sure our game had been postponed.
So we're not playing Saturday?
Yeah, but I'm wondering about the international week's the weekend after, isn't it?
No, it's this week. Yeah, it's this week.
Oh, okay.
And he gone out to join them though this weekend. I'm not sure.
He will be. He will be.
We'll check up on that. But yeah,
Yeah,
Yearwood as well. He got a 5.
You were actually man of the match, Yearwood.
Yeah. What I will say on Martha is he's not strong enough, is he? That's the only negative with Martha.
Yeah.
He's very, very
He
lightweight.
needs a bit
Yeah,
of
very lightweight. He
Aye.
is lightweight.
Defo.
Yeah, Yearwood was man at match. I mean, I'd have only given him a 7, but he was man at match, Yearwood.
Well, joint man of the match is up next. Sean McWilliams, he got a 6, and he was joint man of the match. Well, second man of the match.
Considering everyone was raving about him after the Barnsley game and also the Wigan game, I thought he struggled on Saturday. He weren't his normal self.
I'm just really glad we've kept him because there was talk of him going. I'm glad that we've kept him. We'll need him. Trust me, we'll need him.
He's the only person in the midfield at the minute who will actually kick somebody. Do you know, you've had like your Rathbone and your Lindsay and somebody gets stuck in it. He seems to be the only person at the minute who will kick somebody and he'll have a I'm not saying they're going to get sent off, but it just seems to give us the bite in midfield. He's the only one who seems to do that at the minute.
Agreed.
Yeah, totally agree. He come runner up for man of the match, so I think he does get stuck in. Denzel Hall, he was a 5. We're agreeing on that one.
Yeah.
And then we've got Sheriff, he got a 4.
Yeah, I thought he was really poor, Sheriff. That chance as well. Again, when he missed the chance against Wigan, I know he scored like 2 minutes later, but the chance against Wigan, he looked like he was so nervous in front of goal. And to me, he was saying again, he was through on goal. All he has to do is go out goalkeeper, and he just looks so nervous in front of goal.
Why did the keeper come out that far? Yeah, all you're thinking is just knock it to side of him, and you've
yeah. The keeper was disastrous coming out that far. To be honest with you,
Has that supposed journalist got reported on his hamstring yet or not? He always saves a story, keeps us all in waiting, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Regards his hamstring. So I don't know, is he injured or not?
I'm not sure.
Is it? No.
He's got to be, because if he's not, it's a very, very strange substitution to take him off. So that's what we heard. We had something to his hamstring, but yeah, it's very, very.
John Sullivan.
It might not have been, but
yeah, John Sullivan, Sheriff was very poor. Sean H, Sheriff needed to round the goalkeeper. David Carroll, we will have to win most of our home games just to stay up.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree with that. We're not going to win away, are we?
God, I said we're trying to be positive, lads. Right, okay. On to Tete. He also got a 4. Didn't do out, did he, lads?
I thought those strikers were really poor, unfortunately. Again, though, I would only back Hugo up by saying he got no service. I think he get no service, so it's a similar kind of story. Anyone who's having a go at Hugo for last month needs to have in the same go at these 2 players.
Oh, they won't because they're young lads, so you can't have a go. He weren't signed by Evans, so they won't have a go at him.
Yeah. Well,
it's only Evans players.
The funny thing as well is he's getting a lot of stick, and then he were getting his name shouted on Saturday.
Who were?
Hugo.
Yeah. On to the substitutes, and believe it or not, one of the substitutes got the man of the match. That's how
Coletta.
So Coletta got the highest score and got man of the match, and I kind of agree with that because I think he did come on and he was the only one for me that really had a drive at him, and he didn't give them no respect. They don't deserve any respect. The little Donny get at him, and he just drove at him. And I thought, I like this kid because he's got some balls about him. He has got what I class as the arrogance that I want as a Rotherham player. We don't have that anymore. We don't have players that actually think, I'm good enough to be here. I'm good enough to be the top boy on this pitch. And I think he's got it. And we need more like that. We need more, we just don't have winners. Do you get what I mean? I just don't see winners in that team. People that want to win. I don't care. Listen, let's be honest. We go to the football matches to watch this football club win. We don't go to get losing to teams like Doncaster Rovers. It's just not what we should be doing. On to the rest of the subs. All the other subs didn't play that long and they all scored a 3, including Matt Hamshaw's performance was a 3 as well. We agree with that. We think higher, lower.
Lee, I was watching the live watch along, and obviously I've watched not the highlights. I watched the match afterwards. As soon as we go 1-0 down, apart from Wigan, I still have the same feeling. You just don't think anything's going to change or happen. It's like as soon as we go 1-0 down, they're in control. They just do what they want. It's a training game, and that's the fear. And we need to have a plan A to start with, right? A plan B, a plan C, a plan D. But I don't know.
I just think it comes from the manager, the mentality. I don't think we're driving standards high enough, and we're not demanding that we get on that front foot. And you're not playing Real Madrid. You're playing League One teams that are crap. They're as crap as we are. Don't bear no bones about it. Doncaster are as bad as we are, but they're sat second in the table or wherever they are. Yeah, It's a joke. We've got to get at teams like that, and I think it stems the manager doesn't have that mentality where he says, "Boys, you're playing Donny Rovers today, not Real Madrid." Yeah. This is a local derby. I want you to not lose any 50-50s. If you lose a 50-50, you're coming off. You come and sit with me. Yeah. That's the passion I want to see, and I hadn't seen that.
Look at it another way, though. Like Grant McCann's barking orders, and then there were times where Hamshaw was stood sort of with his arms folded, as though, I need to get out of this. What can I do?
Yeah,
there were just nothing to. All right,
I don't
fair
see
enough.
Nothing from him on the touchline. I don't see any passion, any drive, and everyone used to slag other managers off. Oh, they're all this. But I love a Neil Warnock type of manager that's in the fucking faces. That's actually people didn't want to come to Rotherham under Ronnie Moore. They did not want to come to Rotherham because they knew they were in for a game. Now they come, we fucking roll out the red carpet. Come and play against us. Knock it about. We're not going to put a challenge in, and we're going to whimper to a 1 or 2-0 loss. It's crap. And for fans on sort of other platforms saying that they're seeing improvements, I just don't know where they're seeing it. I don't know if they're...
Let's move on from Hamshaw then, because we've talked about quite a lot.
Got glasses. Do you know what I mean? It's just a nonsense, really. Right, so obviously we're coming to sort of the end of the show now. Has anybody got anything else? I'll just run through a couple of sort of questions, sort of what was said on here. So Coletta was my man of the match, said it on Saturday. Yeah, he got the man of the match with us. So I thought he was as well. Great show and pundits tonight. Hope your season starts to get better for you all. Well, we do, don't we? So we're going to go on to sort of, before we wrap up, we do the sort of predictions for the next. We'll do the next two because we've got game in midweek. It's Bolton. Is it Bolton?
Tomorrow, yeah. Bolton, aye.
Bolton, yeah. So we'll give our predictions for that, and then the weekend game as well. So I'll start with Bez. What you predicted? First of all, Tuesday night.
Yeah, so we'll
Away at
lose 3-1 Tuesday night, and then we will beat
Exeter.
Exeter 2-1. We have to win. It's a must-win game.
Tom?
Bolton tomorrow night, away at the tough shit stadium, whatever it's called. Unless Dawson has his best game of his life like he did last time at Bolton, I can only see, and sadly, a 2-0 loss. Exeter this weekend, we're at home. Do you know what? I think we might get a 2-1 win.
Shelley?
I don't want to be. We've got to be positive at some point. I don't want to obviously be negative. Tomorrow, I think 2-1. What I want to see more than anything tomorrow is just something different. Just show us, something. If you're going to change it up, just play different people. There's people who need minutes in them, get it in them. And then Saturday, let's say 2-1. Let's say 2-1 Saturday.
John Sullivan, Bolton will win 3-0, and then we beat Exeter 2-1. Sean H, we lose both 2-1. Callum, 3-2 loss tomorrow and 2-0 to the Millers against Exeter. So a mixed bag there. I think everybody's in agreement that we're going to lose the Bolton game. I'm actually going to go against the grain. I'm going to say we win 1-0 at Bolton. And I believe we'll be... Yeah, I've just got a feeling. I don't know. We're just not expected to get anything. I think we might just roll up there and get a dirty 1-0 off somebody's backside. I'll take that. And then Saturday, I think we will... I think it'll come together on Saturday, and I think we'll win 3-0.
Hopefully. Come on.
We've got to be positive, boys. Yeah, so like I said, I want to be positive. I think it's a young team. It is going to take time. I think the young players are going to take time to gel. I think Shelley's hit the nail on the head with the players that we've got to come back. You look at Benson, he gets in most League One teams. I would say that so does Spence. When I watched pre-season, I thought he was the best midfielder. I thought he played better than Dango, to be honest with you. We've also got Dango to come back, who I believe is probably the best midfielder in this league. So he's to come back. We've probably got one of the best strikers in League One to come back with Nombe. And the best player that was playing before his injury was the centre-back that we got from Celtic, Lenny. He's got to come back. We've also got Raggett to come back. So there's a lot of quality in there that's got to come back. And I think it's hard to do this when we've lost 2 back-to-back derbies. I think we're all here against... A lot of people just wouldn't show up. So I respect you guys for showing up because we've faced the music. Do you know what I mean? We've lost. Has
anything been said about when the lads are due to come back? Do we know? Have we heard anything?
There's not been some major updates regarding the fitness of a lot of them. I believe a couple of them should be looking after the international break to be back. But regarding on exactly who, I'm not sure. But he says there is a few getting back on the grass. So hopefully after the international break, we may see some players. I think Nombe is the big one. I just think he makes us tick and he gives us a goal threat that we don't currently have. But yeah, like I say, I want to be positive. Sean H. Spence was full of energy, but would he start? I don't know, Spence. Sean. I hadn't seen enough of him, but from what I saw in pre-season, I thought he was good. Jonathan Sheard, 2-2 tomorrow and 3-1 on Saturday. So yeah, like it. Jonathan Sheard, good lad is Jonathan. I know Jonathan well. He's a good guy. He follows Rotherham literally all over the country, home and away. So yeah, I really and this is what pains me is when I know friends of mine, family of mine that travel all over the country watching Rotherham, And when they're serving up what they've been serving up, it just pains me. Do you know what I mean? I've been there myself. I went on the train all the way last season on a Tuesday night to Leyton Orient to watch us get pumped. Do you know what I mean? It's heartbreaking. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping we get a win tomorrow. My 1-0 off somebody's backside and we win it. And then on Saturday, for the home fans, we've had enough suffering. We get a 3-0 victory. And they're my predictions for this week. So get them down, Bez, because I'm top of the prediction league as well, aren't I?
Just about, yeah.
yeah, just about. So yeah, I'm doing well on that because I do talk a lot of sense. A lot of people don't like me, but I just speak from the heart. I'm a Miller. I'll always be a Miller. I have to blame my dad for that. It took me since I was bloody 4 years old against Leyton Orient, and yeah, I've been to Millmore so many times in the pissy toilets in the Tivoli, got piss wet through with piss, and went to Don Valley, but he couldn't even see the pitch. Can you remember they used to take your cola bottles off you as well, so in case you threw it on the pitch? If you could reach the pitch at Don Valley, you'd be for Olympic
Javelin
team.
champ.
Yeah, absolutely shocking.
I used to love the fact that, do you know at Don Valley, I used to like the fact that they purposely put the dugouts right over end of the pitch. That was my favourite thing.
Yeah. Do you remember that time as well with the U2 concert and they're all bolts and stuff?
Yeah.
One game got called off, didn't it? First game.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
And then you got the scoreboard as well. We had that scoreboard working for one game, and I think he said Rotherham 100, where they were playing 0, which made me laugh as well.
So I
take me back.
Yeah, take us back. Want to thank Tom, actually brilliant for his first ever show. You're a natural on there tonight, mate. I think you've done absolutely fantastic. Shelley again. He's obviously, I've known Shelley years, played pool at him. I was better than him. He can always remember the black I potted. And obviously Bez is a superstar. He's got all the fans in the chat. Everybody hates me, so the people in the chat can say horrible things about me. It's absolutely fine. Our next show will be on Thursday for the Premiership boys that are coming on. So that's going to be good because there's been a few poor results for some of our boys, Nottingham Forest fans and the Man City fans. So it's going to be good winding him up. And obviously I'm top of the prediction league. So it's going to, I'm looking forward to Thursday night. We will probably be doing a live watch along again for the Exeter game. I don't think we're going to do one for that little cup. I don't think it's going to work well, that one. So we'll be live again on the watch along for the Exeter game for your Rotherham content. So thank you again for watching, everybody. If you please can like, share and subscribe, that would be fantastic. And up the Millers.
Up the Millers.